With the Assembly of First Nations election quickly approaching, we're sitting down with each candidate, and up next is Manitoba Regional Chief Cindy Woodhouse from the Pinaymootang First Nation. This is her first time running for National Chief. I spoke with her earlier. Cindy Woodhouse, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's been a tumultuous year for the Assembly of First Nations with the former National Chief's removal this summer and claims of bullying and harassment within the organization. What do you think needs to be done for the AFN to move forward?
Well, it's no secret. We've heard a lot through the media. We've heard a lot through First Nations communities that it has been a tough year for First Nations at the Assembly of First Nations, but I just think as a leader, you kind of bear down, you get the work done, and you work hard on the issues such as child welfare and making sure that that we focus on getting out $23 billion out to our First Nations communities, and I think that's what First Nations expect of us, and as First Nations expect of their leaders is to work on the issues and to get results for our people.
This isn't a new thing, but of course you know that a number of First Nations people, especially within the grassroots, feel the AFN no longer has their interests at heart. What would you say to those people, and how would you improve relations between the AFN and the nations it represents?
I think focusing on the issues. I think working teamwork across the country, chiefs across the country work together. At one point there was 5 resolutions, during last year's December Assembly that, called for different ways of trying to settle the child welfare settlement for $23 billion, and chiefs came together in a good way to make sure that, that they tried to work together for our kids. And I think that, when we focus on our children, when we help each other as First Nations from coast to coast to coast, that these are the results that we get, are better results for our people, and our people expect that of us, and they're waiting for us.
If elected as the next National Chief, what would be your highest priorities for the AFN?
Well, of course, we still have $19.8 billion on the table when it comes to reforming the child welfare systems across this country. Our communities, are starting to take the lead and bring their families home. But I think also policing and justice issues. I know that we need long-term, sustainable, predictable funding for our communities across the country, and of course, housing is always an issue. There's just and respecting our treaty and inherent rights. We see some bills before Parliament now. Talking to some members of Parliament the past week has been a little bit tough when when they question, say, the membership of our people, and other people are not questioned, and I think that's disheartening, and we always seem to have to have these discussions as First Nations people. They're not going to be easy discussions with all levels of government and with industries, but we have to have them.
Well, what would you like to see the Assembly of First Nations accomplish in the coming year?
We need investments into First Nations communities when it comes to, like I said, policing, better long-term, we need to try and close the gaps to 2030. There's huge housing investments that are needed, infrastructure investments that are needed, and our chiefs expect that of us, and because they're community members, First Nations people in their communities are expecting them to deliver results, and that's what the Assembly of First Nations should be working on.
Cindy Woodhouse, we'll have to leave it there, but wish you all the best in the campaign, and appreciate you taking time for us today.
Miigwech. Thank you.